in American history. What a difference men and women pursuing their dreams in a free country can make. It is our responsibility to never forget or allow history to be erased as to what we, the people, have done together over our 240-year history. This as we continue to resolve to grow together as a more perfect union. I have just a few thoughts I wanted to leave with you before I invite Congressman Tenney to come back up. And that is a little bit of the highlights of the great hearts of our American people. It is our nation's mission statement that ends with the idea that we can have not only second chances, but as a imperfect union, that we can become more of a perfect union. I start with my great-great-grandfather, Silas Burgess. To show what the more perfect union looks like is the fact that he came to this country in the belly of a slave ship, lived through the evils of a plantation, and yet escaped going west because of good Americans, German and Mexican Americans, who opened up their homes and their barns and their fields to give him an opportunity to move forward and keep his hopes alive. Even though he saw the evils of being a slave, he saw the good hearts of these good Americans that led him to become a Christian, led him to be able to forgive, to build, and to serve instead of destroying. I see the form of a more perfect union with my dad in the 50s, who came back from World War II, could not get his postgraduate degree in Texas because of Jim Crow laws, was able to go to go to Ohio State, and some white administrator, who I'll never know who that was, said yes, gave an opportunity to get his PhD, and again, to help form a more perfect union. I experienced myself in the 60s, where going to the University of Miami was the fourth black to get a scholarship in a school, the most southern school down in the South, that at that time had a commitment, the president, Henry Stanford, to end segregation and allow us to move forward based on the character of our character versus color of our skin. I saw a more perfect union in the 70s when a Jewish owner of the Raiders, Al Davis, committed to ending the Jim Crow barriers of the NFL and put meritocracy above color. And then we had the first Hispanic quarterback, the first Hispanic coach, the first black coach, the first female CEO, because meritocracy has no color. What we see in our country, and we have to continue to remember, is the power of we the people, the power of the team. We think about Harriet Tubman as a conductor, Frederick Douglass, Booker T. Washington, Martin Luther King, all conductors. We have many conductors today throughout our country. At the same time, we have many more people who build our freedom highways and railroads. We the people roll up our sleeves, gives hope to others. We need to rediscover our history, remember the havens of Peterborough, places where Americans across this country, regardless of skin color, came together to allow others to have an opportunity to see what freedom was all about. We can see those experiences in Booker T. Washington and Tuskegee in the early 1900s. We can see that experiment succeed in Tulsa, Oklahoma, in the early 1900s, Black Wall Street, and we can see it today throughout our country. We see it here in this house. What we must remember is our past should give us hope for a much greater future. And we also must remember to not only sprint away from anyone who leaves us hopeless. With that, I want to make sure, Congresswoman, if you have any other comments you want to make.
Well, thank you so much for those great words and for bringing up so many people. And again, our community was so honored to have you there. And just to have you at Peterborough and to have more people discover and have this audience around our country and the world watching know that there are great people out there that did care about the cause of freedom. And you brought up Martin Luther King, and I always remember studying him when I was a college student and just discovering his great relationship with Gandhi and talking about peace and peaceful protest and how important it was and how that's a founding principle of our country. And just to have you there in Peterborough meant so much, and that everyone in Peterborough was so excited to have you there, that people are recognizing that there are people that maybe it's not on everyone's radar and the national radar, but there are people that have done great things, that are doing it quietly, but they're doing it for a great cause. And those little acts, like you just mentioned, the administrator that let your dad into Ohio State, you'll never know who it was, but that person enabled us to have the great Burgess Owens here today. So,
If I can add to that, because I think the most important thing about our nation is to remember our history, to really understand that we have within our hearts, because of our foundation, this desire to want others to succeed. We want to feel good that we've been part of something that makes a difference. And it's not just the 2000s, it's actually throughout our country's history. And to know what happened again from my great-grandfather, throughout our history again, we can find those moments in which we've helped each other, we've all given some credence, something given back to this country. The more we know about that, the more we feel better about who we are today and the vision we have, our vision for the future. So we have to make sure we keep that in mind for sure.
I agree. I think we have to focus on the people who are helping us, not the people who aren't. And I think that this is what we wanted to do today, and we're grateful to you to be able to focus on people who actually help, not the people tearing us down, the people trying to bring our country to its knees, but people trying to make us rise up and be better and be a better America than we are today. And that's our striving for our future. That's what we want our children to be. We want America to be better for our children and grandchildren. And I think by recognizing that there were great people in our past who have done amazing things, who never got the recognition, but often those people don't go, they go unnoticed. And I think that's why it meant so much for us to have you there. And I urge anyone, if you want to come up on a beautiful fall day, or you can come in the warm summer days, it's nice, a little warmer, it's a little snowy right now, to come to visit Peterborough and meet with some of our great docents who I mentioned in my remarks, who are studying and uncovering documents and trying to show the true history, and so we understand it and so we can learn from it. And even though I'd been to Peterborough when I was younger, I knew about it when I was a kid because it was my mom's home county, I never knew the depth of it, or I learned so much more just by that experience. And I'm sure if I go again to the Abolitionist Hall of Fame and go to I think we'll learn even more there. But just learning about Harriet Tubman and going to her house and being in the same room where that she was providing so much aid and comfort and love to people she didn't know, but people she believed in and knew needed to understand and feel that taste of freedom. Just standing there with you and just the people that work there and how much it meant to them, they conveyed that sort of, that wonderful feeling to us as well. So I feel like I just would love to have everyone come and have that experience. And anywhere else in the country, we'd love to encourage our colleagues to come out and tell us about great experiences and great Americans that are out there that might not get the recognition. They might not be getting the clicks on Twitter or Facebook or social media, but they're people out there doing great works and uncovering great heroism.
If I can add a little bit about Petersburg, because this was, again, a new experience for me. And what that particular place represented for so many Americans, particularly Black Americans, was a place of hope. They knew that once they got to Petersburg, they were literally very close to Canada, which was their really freedom. That was it. They could then know they weren't going to be hiding and going through all the stealth and knowing they would be recaptured. So that hope is a big factor that we're talking about. And I hope that those that are listening to our conversation know that actually our country is built on that. What we've done so far today is talk about what our country is capable of because we've done in the past. And the more hope we can give to our fellow Americans that this is a country, the best in the history of mankind, that we can serve each other, that we can build, not destroy, and that we can become a much better country, because that's actually within our mission statement, to be a more perfect union. And we can do that. And that's what we've done, again, very, very successfully. And I'm just very excited to have this opportunity to spend this time with you. It was a great opportunity. Can't wait to get back. If I can say, for anyone who's listening, please check this place out. Harriet Tubman was, as always, for many of us, we know she's a hero. Go to a place to see her property, a person that once was the property of someone else. Her property and what she did and what she gave away to so many because she just loved the process of service. It is a great experience, and I can't wait to get back and check it out again.
Yeah, no, we can't wait to have you back. And also, I just think about that last moment we were in Garrett Smith's estate in the barn. We went back in the barn and we saw, these conditions where horses and mules were put and that they actually had to hide people in there. And we came out of the barn and there was this gleaming sunlight on us on that cold day. And I looked above and there was a sign that said Heaven and Peterborough, the two places where the slaves were safe and symbolized freedom. So it's just an honor for me to represent the community and then to have you standing there with that gleaming sunlight on us and knowing that so many people in our past have that was their gateway to freedom and their gateway to finding a new life. I think it's just an amazing experience, and we hope maybe you can come again and we can invite our colleagues and others to come and experience Peterborough.
I would love to.
And Harriet Tubman's home, of course.
If I can just leave one message, one last final word to those who are watching. This country is a place that thrives because people can vision themselves doing much, much better. And we do that when we, the people, get together and we really put our hearts and soul into making sure our next generation is a much better place than our time is. And we do that better than any other country. So I'm thankful for the opportunity to visit a home of my hero since I was 12 years old. And that was kind of exciting to hear that you were that close to that area and that they had the invitation to come up and see it. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, thank you. And this is what a great discovery it was, just sitting on the floor of the House chamber that Burgess and I said, you've never been to Peterborough? How about this? Who would think that I would be hosting a famous person like Burgess Owens, a hero in our communities, in my own little community, and that we would have that common bond with Harriet Tubman. But we're grateful. We're just grateful for you and your service and everyone here. And just hope that my colleagues and anyone who wants to join Peterborough, again, I hate to do too much of a pitch, but if anyone really wants to go to Peterborough, go to www.gerritsmith.org, GERRITSMITH.org. It's an amazing place. It's humble, but it's just majestic in the accomplishments that were made in that wonderful place. So thank you so much, Burgess, for joining us, and thank you for everything you've done, for standing courageously and boldly for our communities and for our country, and standing up for our Constitution and freedom, because that is really what's going to unite us. Let's talk about what unites us, not what divides us. And we have a lot of great history that can really bring us together in the future. And so I thank you.
Thank you so much for this exactly the same. We have a remarkable freshman team. I'm so honored to be serving with you at this point. So let's keep this thing moving forward, for sure.
Thank you so much. The honor's all mine. Thank you.
All right, the gentlelady's time has expired. So pursuant to Section 11B of House Resolution 188, the House now stands adjourned until noon tomorrow.